Looking beyond the political rhetoric, what more can or should be done to steer our country toward a lasting economic recovery? Well, Gene Marks of the Marks Group and columnist for the New York Times and Forbes magazine is here. Hey, Gene, thanks for coming in.
Joyce, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, but our economy doesn't seem to be.
No,
okay,
it does not.
Something's got to give, but what without greatly benefiting one segment and crushing another?
Well, you know, we're going to see a big battle over the summer that's coming up right now. I mean, the good news is that the debt ceiling itself that everybody's talking about, that crisis has been kind of pushed back a little bit to August. So over the next couple of months, we're going to be seeing our government on both sides of the table arguing about more or less taxes or more or less spending, and that's what we're going to be looking at. The big thing that we're facing, though, Joyce, is particularly when it comes to spending, is entitlements. About 41% of our president's budget that he proposed for 2012 is going to some type of insurance, some type of entitlement. It's a really, really big piece of the pie that you can see. So that is going to really be up for a lot of argument and a lot of punching around during the summer to see what we can do just about that. Whether or not people are going to reach common ground or not, that's going to be an interesting thing to see. But my opinion, I think there will be a common ground that we reach. We have to, because too many people are counting on this to be settled amicably.
Okay, but when you start talking about entitlements and people who are close to retirement will say, well, wait a minute, I've been paying into Social Security all these years. You're going to take it from me now? No way.
Yeah, you know, it's a really tough thing to do. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of other business owners and people, you know, that look at their entitlements and what's due to them. And look, you know, people have got to compromise. When we're looking at Social Security payments that have to go out, Medicare payments that have to go out, it's a big number that the government really can't afford to do. And a lot of people I know who have always viewed this as a tax before can take a step back and say, you know what, if I have to take a little bit of less, you know, of that kind of an entitlement so somebody else gets it, as long as some kind of fair and equitable agreement and it goes towards paying down the deficit, that might be an area of compromise. Now, again, that's not everybody's not in that case. I mean, some people really do deserve to get the entitlements that they've paid into. But, you know, there are people that are going to be getting entitlements over the next 20, 30 years that, you know, Joyce, I'm not even sure if they really need them. And the question is, what can we do to get those people to compromise?
That's going to be hard because you're talking about people's money and they may want it back,
that's right,
whether it's, you know, good for them if they need it or not. But two plans out there, both parties, any common ground and possibility of compromise between the two of those? They seem so different.
Yeah, of course they seem so different because we're just at the beginning of the fight. You know, I mean, there's going to be more, it'll be more interesting to watch C-SPAN this summer than ESPN to see the battle that's going to go on. And really, the Republicans themselves, Representative Ryan, he's saying, look, we should cut taxes across the board, bring it down to 25%. We should also take Medicare and basically outsource it to the states. Whereas the Democrats on the other side are saying, no, 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 no. We need to raise taxes because we need to generate revenue to pay down this deficit, and we don't want to touch Medicare at all. Is there a compromise in there? Of course there has to be, because the people are watching and the credit bureaus are watching. So where I think a compromise will probably come out is mostly in taxes. Okay. There is going to be some increases there.
I got to ask you this one quick question, a quick answer for this one. How can American people feel confident about anything these lawmakers are doing, they're proposing in Washington, Harrisburg, here in Philadelphia, elsewhere, when they aren't taking any cuts in pay or benefits or staff or expenses for themselves?
You know what, Joyce? I'm not sure if you're going to like this answer. I don't really know if we care about the American people right now. It's the credit bureaus. We hear Moody's and S&P and people that are thinking of cutting down our, our ratings on our debt because we can't get a budget balanced. That is a big, big impact that will impact us all financially. So it's not necessarily pleasing the American people yet. We got to please the credit bureaus and the markets first, and then hopefully that will trickle down to the American people.
You're so right, Gene, but it's the American people who go to the polls.
That's right.
Thanks so much, Gene Marks, for coming in.
Thanks, Joyce.
Good to see you again.
Yep.